Good morning. 7.1, 7.4 extra practice worksheet to review for our quiz on Friday. So simplify each expression using only positive exponents. Here I have a negative. I also want to make sure that 2 is to the -6 and t is to the -6. So I'm going to first put this whole thing under 1, t to the 6th power to get rid of that negative. And then I want to distribute. So 2 to the 6th power, do some more, 2 times 2 times 2, I believe. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, 8 times 8 is 64. So we have 64 t to the 6th power. Same here, I want to combine my like terms, so m to the 5th, m to the 8th, the -8th. I'm going to add those two numbers together and I get a -3. So we get 5m to the -3rd, which then I want to put the 5 stays on top, and the m to the 3rd goes to the bottom to get rid of my negative exponent. Okay, here I have 4.5 to the 4th, 4.5 to the -2nd, combine them, so 4.5 to the 2nd, and depending on simplifying each expression using only positive exponents, the positive exponents is going to be talking about just those m or the variables. We want to simplify anything that we can simplify. So let me get my calculator out. So 4.5 squared is 20.25. Okay, here remember everything is to the 2nd power, so we're going to first simplify the power raised to a power, so this is m to the 14th because we're going to be multiplying them, r to the -10th, -5, right? And then I also need to bring any negative exponent to the bottom, so r to the 10th. Done. Okay, so here we have all multiplication, nothing raised, so I can pretty much get rid of my parentheses and then combine my like terms. So x to the 2nd stays, and then it's n4 minus -8. So I have to remember I'm going to be combining, adding, I'm sorry, 4 plus a -8. So it's -4, which equals x squared, and then n goes to the bottom with the 4 on raised to the 4th power. Here we have an exponent, so we have to make sure to do that first. So +6, and then a j to the 12th, and then everything else is going to be brought down. Then look at all my j's. So 12, that dot right there is just my top of my j. 12 plus 10 is 22, so we have w to the 6th times j to the 22nd, all positive. Okay, so we have t to the 18th, m to the 2nd, no more simplifying needed. Okay, 3 to the 2nd, n to the 8th, so we 9, n to the 8th. This one is negative and it's on the bottom of a fraction, so I need to move it to the top. So r to the 5th, g to the 3rd, done. Again here, this is just going to be moving up. So a to the 4th. It would be placed over 1, but we don't need to. I'm dividing fractions here, or dividing exponents, so I need to subtract their exponents. So 7 minus a -6 would be 13. I can also think of it as this w to the -6th power. I can also think that it's a negative, so I'm going to bring it to the top. So w to the 7th times w to the 6th, and then again I'm just going to be adding them. So which equals w to the 3rd, which is what I would have been doing, 7 minus a -6. This would have been adding, and I would have changed it to w to the 13th. Okay, so here I want to make sure I don't have this negative, so 6 is going to stay on top, and then t to the 4th power. So here, a to the second, be a to the fifth, becomes a to the third, negative third, so I'm going to put it on the bottom to get rid of that negative. I have a negative 7 minus 3 becomes b to the 10th. It's a negative, so I'm going to put it on the bottom to get rid of that negative. Then 4 minus a negative 2, oh, can't see my work, which becomes c to the 6th power on top. Okay, remember to simplify your exponents first. So this becomes 2 to the 3rd, t to the 15th, over 4 t to the 8th, and t to the negative 1. So here I can either bring this one up, or I can see that I have to, and I'm going to add them first. So I would rather you bring it up, so it makes it t to the 1st up here. So 2 to the 3rd is 8. T to the 16th. 4t to the 8th stays. So I brought this one up to the top. And then, let's make equal sign because my fraction is too long. 8 divided by 4 is 2. T, and here I have exponents, so I have to subtract them. It gets me 8. They're trying to make your brain see all the different, right away you think, oh, 16 divided by 8 is going to be 2. No, when you have like bases raised to a power, you're going to subtract their exponents. If I just have numbers here, 8 and 4, I'm going to divide those, just like in here. Okay. Sorry. Here we have negative exponent, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to flip fraction, bringing the denominator to the numerator, numerator to the denominator, and that's then getting rid of my negative 3. Then I want to distribute, so a to the 21st over a to the 18th, and then I have going to subtract their exponents, so a to the 3rd. Same thing here. I'm going to first flip c to the 5th, c to the negative 3rd. Now, flipping this only gets rid of this negative. So this becomes 2. It does not get rid of any of these other negatives. Okay, I could also see that you're going to, if you distributed that negative in there, you could do it that way, and then it would be a, yeah. Now, this becomes, I'm going to distribute this 2, so c to the negative 8th, c to the 10th, c to the negative 6. Okay, if I want, I could switch, I could combine these first. So I'm going to do c to the negative 8th over, I'm going to subtract, or add them, which gets me 4. There we go. So I just combined these two. Remember, this division bar is also a grouping symbol. It's grouping these, the bottom. And then negative 8 minus 4 becomes a negative 12. So we're going to put c to the 12th on the bottom to get rid of that negative. Okay, if I wanted to show a little different way, maybe just, and it's going to get me the same answer. So I have negative 2. I could distribute this first, so c to the negative 10th, c to the 6th, and c to the 8th. And again, combine these two. So I have c to the negative, I'm going to add them, right? Negative 4 and c to the 8th. I can see that, well, I could subtract them, negative 4 minus 8. So that would be a negative 12, so we would want to leave it on the bottom. So c to the 12th, one stays on top. I could also see that this is a negative, and I could bring it down below. So it would be 1, and then c to the 8th, c to the 4th. And again, I have like bases, add their exponents, so 1c to the 12th. I get the same thing no matter how I do it. Anything to 0 power is 1. So this whole thing in here is 1. Okay, here, y to the negative 6, I'm going to distribute that over y to the 6th. Again, you can choose to see that it's a negative and bring it to the bottom. So I have y to the 6th times y to the 6th, which equals 1 over y to the 12th. So we have a t, so negative 3 to the m power, which is 2. So negative 3 times negative 3, which is 9. T, again, negative 3 to the negative m power, so negative 2 power. I want to get rid of that negative, so I'm going to put it to the bottom of the fraction, and then I'm going to do negative 3 to the 2nd power, which is, again, 9. So w times t, which is a negative 3, all raised to the 2nd power. I need to multiply these two numbers first, so negative 12 to the 2nd power, which is 144. Okay, w, so 4 to the 2nd power times t, so negative 3 to the 2nd power. Remember, so it would be 16 times 9. Okay, w, so 4 to the 2nd power, no, sorry, z power, so 0 power, all multiplied by 2. So I know that I can either figure this out and then square it, or I can multiply these two, which would be 4 to the 0 power, which is just 1. Okay, w, I'm going to do a few and then we'll I did box the answers there. And then in class we will go through 28 through 30.